Okay, seems like everything is under control. Yep. Right, guys, welcome to Chrono Clash Alternative Round, and this time we are once again meeting in Battle-Based Beta. But now our contestants are the powerhouse of the Allied forces. On top, we have the red allies, Yuno, versus on the bottom we have the yellow allies, Vindies. A mirror match, but a mirror match against two opponents that they know what is allies capable of, what and how to counter it. Like know yourself to know your enemy stuff. So, on the first, first to tell, the Yuno starts with double barracks, and the double barracks comes by the Windies as well. A little bit slower, I guess. Meanwhile, yes, the Windies had his own power plant first. Meanwhile, Yuno immediately skips the power plant and goes for the double barracks. And now, the battle for the garrisons have begun. From the looks of it, Windies having some advantage over here. But the numbers are for pouring for the Yuno, since he had an early start for the Vindigators, but the Peacekeepers. They're making a lot. Now, the refinery is now online for the both of the sides. So who is going to make the difference? Is it going to be an airfield, or an ammo facility, or perhaps a seaport? This is the beauty of this map. I mean, you have access to everything. This can be the sea, land, or air. But now, the garrison battle is in favor of the Yuno. The Vindies slowly losing his own position over here. Not realizing that he's actually not very contesting, but stalling for the area and going for the sea expansion point. Meanwhile, this is not very good because now Vindies knows that Yuno wants to have this expansion point, and better than that, he is expanding on forward. So after this deployment of the refinery, I think Yuno will move with the MCV on the front lines. Now, the garrisons. I'm quite tired of, I have to say, a loss of... Ooh, that was a beautiful way and very timed movement. Vindies actually winning this Peacekeeper battle. On the top of that, Yuno has sold his own barracks, and now he's on the one barracks only. But in the meantime, the Vindies is still on two barracks, but not making or producing any units. Now another garrison has been taken. Interestingly enough, I mean, when you see, especially when you're against Empire, you get to see skilled allied players actually destroy these garrisons before anything. But when it comes against allies versus allies, I guess that's not going to be the point. They do not really spend much of time. I think the combat for this middle section is much more important and vital for this map. And once again, I mean, I will be always speaking about the pro of the, I mean, in a positive manner for the Red Alert 3. That's what I like about this game a lot. Maps change a lot in Red Alert 3. And that's how it should be, because, I mean, I don't know you guys how many strategy games you have played, but the maps in Red Alert 3 are actually tended to be small. So smaller maps win. Oh, also this line of reinforcement have been sniped by the Windies. But these garrisons are now not very serving a lot of things. This power plant is exposed, so they can be sniping at that point. And once again, this garrison can be a little bit more useful and maybe move over here or maybe try to take some damage to this power plant. But Yuno is now moving forward with the MCV. On the meantime, the Windies is actually spending so much time on the sea and deploying one power plant and an airfield, not a seaport we are going to see. Vindigator sniping some units, but so much units are being poured here. Now, Peacekeepers are now scattering around. There's only one cryocopter, which is not half bad, but there's no unit to deal damage. This also applies for the Yuno. There are walls here, so you don't have any kind of javelin. Well, then these Peacekeepers are going to do nothing. And deployment of the multi-gunner turret is en route. Meanwhile, Vindies is still okay. He ejected one of his garrisons and now is dealing damage to these power plants on very close range. This multi-gunner turret has been not bugged. Now dealing damage, and the refinery is now completely exposed. Seaport is online and two replies are already produced. The double bit response of Vindies is now fighting back this Prospector is now frost. An entire base is actually under threat, but Apollo has arrived. A very timed arrival. At least there will be the damage only be caused by the one Prospector only. A more, perhaps, this power plant is now also exposed too. But now, Vindies wants to do something with this Prospector, maybe waiting for the cryo shot will be the answer for it. Now that's a very sizable infantry force. At this point, Vindies can, or if he is interested, can go to the tier 3 and make an aircraft carrier if he has the cash for it. But unfortunately, he lost a lot on the land. And recovering the land at this point will be very difficult. I mean, even if you get an aircraft carrier, I mean, killing all of these infantry will be a troubling point. Peacekeepers are actually going for a suicide mission. Meanwhile, they can easily snipe this ore refinery. One Riptide is going haywire and tries to move in, but goes back immediately. On the meantime, this Prospector parking over here for doing absolutely nothing. Not deployed. And this Peacekeeper may be the one that is going to save this base from the annihilation. And moving in closer. The Prospector is also idle to be used. All of the economy is now under threat. Under threat. Under threat. And Yuno is pushing Indies. That's something. But his back of the base is now completely annihilated. There's nothing else left for him. If he has no cash for the refinery, I think this will be a little bit more game over for us. And I think it is. There is no oil derrick, no refineries, and unfortunately, Yuno did not calculate this, or let's say, didn't look back of his base, and lost all of his economical infrastructure. And unfortunately, the attrition weared him off, and he spent his money way too quickly, so he couldn't expand or do at least a one refinery to stay on the game. So this game goes for the Vindies. Let's see what we're going to see in the next further games. Now we are on Fire Island. And this time the Vindies on the top. Oh, wait a second. I think I'm not recording. Okay, I think it should work now. Yes, on top we have the yellow Vindies. On bottom we have the Yuno. Hopefully this time he will be watchful for his own base. Especially for the collectors. I mean, leaving a static defense is always an option, but that's so much of an investment. Meanwhile, you have mobile units. This could be Apollo. This could be, for example, Vindicator or something like that. That would be much better. The first hit always goes to the dog, unfortunately, but that's actually a nice move. Sending a Peacekeeper in front immediately instead of the dog. And interestingly enough, they are contesting for this oil derrick only. This stays a lot idle. Only Yuno is sending 2 Peacekeepers to it. Vindies is getting a bit aggressive on here. Definitely wants to capture it. Meanwhile, deploying the second barracks as well. In the meantime, Yuno has sold. Yuno has sold. Okay, no, he didn't sell. There's still one boot camp here, but I don't think that will be enough. I mean, 2. Okay, numbers have been reduced to 1 again. Now both sides are equal on terms of unit production, but there are so many units scattered all around the map. And we see what can Vindies do with a handful of units scattered around the map, or in the garrisons. Unlucky for him, in this map we don't have lots of garrisons. I mean, I don't think this map has any garrisons. Yep, there are none. So whatever he did on the Battle Base Beta, he couldn't do the same in here. Now, unfortunately, the Yuno is denied from his own oil derrick. Now, engineer sitting idle. There will be a moment that airfield will be on, and this engineer can be sniped. On insult to injury, we have 2 engineers. See, this is what I was talking about. This is perhaps one of the feats that makes Vindies the player that he is. With every unit, he wants to maximize the effort, maximize the value of any unit he produces. And that is a very important aspect for any kind of strategy game. MCV has been deployed, but now Indicators are now coming and going, bombing units outside. And also, if Vindies engage over here, he will win this fight. He's taking the position. You know, you can't do this. You definitely need a multi-gunner turret if you want to engage in sizable force. So Riptide has arrived, going in front as much as he could to draw some damage, but now so many Peacekeepers are on the shields now. But now I guess they can go out of the shield. Airfield has been deployed instead of a multi-gunner turret. So all of these infantry meanwhile can be shredded to pieces with the multi-gunner turret embarked with one single Peacekeeper. Instead he wants to take them on, and this Peacekeeper is dealing so much trouble than it should do. I mean, one single Peacekeeper dealing this much of infrastructure damage. I mean, 1600 of damage. That's what you get, forcing your opponent into low power. And one cryo shot or one cryocopter will do lots of troubles over here. But doesn't really matter. Now, the first unit hasn't been produced yet. I hope this is not IFV. This is not an IFV because... oh no. I wonder if he has still his own... he has engineers. No, there are Peacekeepers. What happened to engineers, by the way? Okay, he captured his own... Vindies oil. That's good. Yuno tries to cook something, but it's partially working. He's very close to the Vindies construction yard, so multi-gunner turret will fix everything here, but he's denying the airbase. Why are these Vindicators flying back? I tell you why, because they are unarmed. Since they didn't have bombs on them, they're losing health. Vindies immediately needs an airfield. Okay, repair does also work. Uh-oh. Okay, just in time. 2 Vindicators are saved, but now the same applies for the Vindies. Peacekeepers are everywhere in his base, but I think they're retreating. Yeah, there is also Riptide, so this Peacekeeper threat can be addressed immediately. On the meantime, Yuno is... no, that's the Vindies bombing the Yuno's dog used to block this refinery spot. I mean, when you're playing allies, this kind of an engagement is not the best that you could do. Instead, move them around here, maybe, and when the time hits for the cryo shot, you can snipe a prospector immediately. IFB is running rampant in the base, low power mode, thanks to that Peacekeeper, still alive by the way. And this prospector is going to die. Airfield has been sold. Okay, power was needed immediately, and now to gunner. Okay, what did you... ah, he undeployed the MCV, I guess that's why. Now Riptides versus multi-gunner turrets, multi-gunner IFVs. 2 Apollos just sitting, let's say, gliding over beautifully over the Vindies airfield. But there's no anti-air, no single anti-air. But Vindies is going for the tier 2. And yeah, cryo shot to take down the prospector. He could do that as well. I mean, Yuno could do the same if he hadn't wasted his Peacekeepers over here with a Riptide. However, the damage is not that very high. Multi-gunner turret has been sniped. No sell-off coming from the Yuno. Also, cryocopter is on. There's only one IFV, so I wonder if he just sending these Apollos Banzai mode into this cryocopter. I think with micromanagement, IFV will have enough time. I think Yuno sees this. Yuno sees these engineers. Oh, okay, we have a spy. Okay, good to spot this guy. Okay, this is a dangerous proposition. He wants to shrink down the Riptides, but it's too late. One Riptide is en route, and I think he will manage it. Or maybe not. No. Escort that one.
Someone
So
call for transport.
two of them have been shrunk, so this Riptide can easily defend this position. Though this refinery is very low HP right now. Apollos are not really... I mean, they're scouting around, but the point that you should be scouting here... we are now tier 3 and Sentry Bomber is on. That should be a moment that we're going to see the Thunder Cannon or Mirage Tanks. And Apollos, I think they have noticed these Sentry Bombers. Is this going to be like power dropping Spy or... Ooh, we are prepared. We are very prepared, I tell you that. I mean, carpet bombing all of the midsection of this area, but doesn't really matter. He's scattered very well. Spy is now sniping the remaining javelins, but shrunk. You should definitely consider evading this multi-gunner turret. Do not let him lose. Okay, 2 cryocopters. Vindies, you definitely need to have a Mirage tank or something. You have sentry bombers, nice, but you didn't bomb any. No rest for this spy for sure. Okay, what kind of bombing run we're going to see? Only... Oh, that's actually nice. 3 of the javelins are down, but the peacekeepers are still alive. And Vindies is now pumping some infantry, getting the second barracks. You imagine that you have a Tanya at this point. This cryocopter shrinking this. Just target this one. Come on. What are you doing? Am I saying real? I mean, this still dealing a lot of damage. Uh-oh. Yuno, go for it. Get them down. Right, Spy with IFVs down. I think it paid its price a lot. Sniped a lot of units. But when it's shrunk, I think it can still snipe units and deal a lot of damage. Normally when you shrunk something, it deals so much of a low damage. Using a paradrop for this? I mean, you can... Ooh. You can actually move your engineer over there. That's not very far from you, but... Anyways, he gets the 2 of them. But here's the trouble. If Yuno destroys this oil derrick, that means you lost 500 worth of cash. Doesn't really worth a lot, because after all, this is a quite... Like, we are in mid-game section. 4 refineries, active and running. So 500 cash, who bothers, right? Let's see how much...
Kick your tires and light the fire.
Seems like it will bother a lot for each player. Anyway. Maybe the winning point, I mean, there's no rest for this game. I can easily say that, but expanding over here could be nice. Though both sides have air superiority, Cryo Shot has been used, Athena Cannon has been shrunk, 4 infantry has been caught, but here's the trouble. That calls for a friendly fire. A lot. Anyway, these are infantry. But here's the thing. That was Yuno's Cryo Shot, not Vindies. So Vindies have his own. And ready to use. 2 Athena Cannons, moving slowly to the midsection, wants to bombard and snipe. And unfortunately, armor facility is also ranged in here. This Athena Cannon can't be frozen, can't be bombed. Now 3 Athena Cannon. The numbers are rising one by one. At this point, you can only counter this with massive amount of cryocopters shrinking one by one. Sentry bombers are now afloat. Coming now on the refinery and both. Okay, Athena Cannon used shield, very nice. Airfield is down, but 1 cryocopter is down as well. Remember, Vindies still have the cryo shot. He's not using it. Why? This is not an army that you can't stop. There's only 1 Athena Cannon. Well, maybe not. Mirage tank is on the field. 2 Vindicators are now tasked with the bombing here, but interception has been done. Unfortunately, not enough anti-air. This refinery is under threat. Now bombing off free light. Yuno beautifully sniping all of the Athena cannons with the freeze ray. Not freeze ray, shrink rays. Oh, come on. Cryo shot has been used, but doesn't really matter. We have Aegis shields. The damage will be irreparable if this refinery gets taken down. There are Athena cannons. Vindies. You also... Okay, finally, Vindies also gets to use some Vindicators. I'm sorry, but I'm missing so much things. Cryocopters, which is nice. Now, 4 Athena cannons, but 3 of them shrunk, so technically they are useless. Now, Yuno slowly moving with the shields on and on, like the phalanx back in the, for example, ancient times in the warfare. But the shrunk units being just useless, rendered completely useless. At this point, maybe Vindies can run. Also, Yuno is wanting to expand over this section. Maybe sending a the sentry bombers over here, for example, forcing a sell-off. That can work. Also, what happened to the Mirage tank? Tanya is on the field. At this point, the base are a bit defended. That's the most terrible thing. Cryocopters now going back. On the mid side, we see Athena cannons running ramparts.
We could use some help here, sir.
Shrinking only 1, which is fine. Vindies is trying to do something experimental, perhaps like sneaking a Katanya in the base, but there are too many. There are too many cryocopters, so evading them will be difficult. Now Athena cannons moving on, but not so much of an anti-air. There's only javelins. Vindies did not invest in Apollos. There are some peacekeepers, sure, but I mean, what are you going to do with these javelins? And sentry bomber moving in. Yuno, stop this guy. Let's freeze it. Right. Okay, sentry bomber. Is this going to be a Tanya drop? Also, Vindies going for a chronosphere. A bold move when you are behind in economy. Tanya has been dropped. But here is the trouble. Tanya has spent a lot of time here. And now it's frost and killed. Well, a base expansion for Tanya. I mean, not half bad. Now, both sides, I think they're... Let's see, are we in a Cryogeddon? Yes, we are on now Cryogeddon. Healthy numbers of Cryocopters, healthy numbers of Athena cannons, healthy numbers of infantry. I think this is the Cryogeddon of the Vindies. Now, Sentry Bomber moving in, but there are so many Athena cannons, even if you bomb them, just activating the Aegis shield will protect them a lot. Vindies are not being pushed back. Unfortunately, the Mirage tank gets into the view of the orbital beam. This Mirage tank is not doing maneuvers, but they're taking so much damage. 2 Athena cannons. Also, Cryogeddon has been used. Tanya is also frost. There is no production coming from the side of the Vindies. There's only oh no. There's only Chronosphere, but there's only 1 minute. Also, Tanya, I think time belted back to the Sentry Bomber. What? You got to... Come on, drop her down. Drop her down. What happened to that Tanya? I really want to know that. I think she died in that Sentry Bomber. That's what I believe. Also, we get to see, voila, a new aircraft carrier, but doesn't really matter a lot at this point. There's only 1 minute left, but the base is completely defenseless. There's only 1 Athena cannon and 1 aircraft carrier is now shrunk and also froze. Hydrofoil is out. Athena cannon is making a run. 5 Athena cannons. 1 is low HP but dealing so much damage. The MCV is also down. The last building she left was a multi-gunner turret. Chronosphere is also getting destroyed in seconds. Somehow the power is online and multi-gunner turret is dealing damage. What's happening in this game? This Athena cannon is not just a last line landline defense. Gets taken. 5 Athena cannons ready to bombard everything. Where is the EMP? Okay, I think there's no EMP we're going to see. If only, like, imagine Vindies moving the aircraft carrier over here. I couldn't show it, but like, imagine this. Vindies moving the aircraft carrier to next to shores. Then Yuno moves the army. I mean, he had a lot of antenna cannons. And then just sending an EMP missile, freezing all of them, and then freezing, I mean, using cryogen on all of them, and taking them one by one. That would be insane. So, this is the second game, an interesting one. Yuno gets the equalizer game, and congratulations for him. Also, guys, please let me know if you, what is your interpretation of what happened to Tanya the last time. I think she time fell to defeat. That was interesting. Okay, now let's get to the third game. Okay, hopefully I am good to go. And last time I didn't know the name of this map, but now I do. Pure Oniash, Pure Onich. And also I remember that this map is the Red Alert 3 challenge, Red Alert 3 expansion pack challenge thing. Like there are so many walls, and then this stupid Japanese commander just charging King Onis, not attacking but just crushing them one by one. It's actually like a meme map, like about the Mongols and like Chinese thing. But anyway, now I remember. And also, that's very lovable map. I mean, I don't like the map when there are so many bridges. Anyway, let's get into it. Now, the Vindies on the top and the Yuno is on the bottom. Once again, some barracks plays are being done. Interestingly enough, the Vindies is very bold and solid with a double barracks opening. Meanwhile, Yuno is just going for one barracks. And he's not still getting the second one. Instead, he wants to get infrastructure very quickly. So what will be the call? Well, now we get to see the reason. He is relying on the garrisons, but the Vindies has now access to the garrisons on the high ground. That means the one thing, and like they can deal damage to below, but they can't deal damage on top. Or can they? I guess they can. Okay, that's nice, but there are two more garrisons. Okay, IFV equipped with the Peacekeeper now dealing some damage to these Peacekeepers, but there are so many garrisons everywhere, so who are you going to hunt down? The IFV is going back immediately, getting the second Peacekeeper in. I mean, this will be more than enough itself to stop this Peacekeeper. This Peacekeeper incursion, I say. Vindy suddenly ejecting his garrison units, or okay, Yuno is now heading very quickly to the base. This Peacekeeper trying to buy some time, but this airfield must go down immediately. Is it going to survive? Yes, more than that. Now Yuno is doing the very best and making a quick aggression, which is very nice, but now I think he may lost the edge here. Now Vindy is quite staying healthy with his air support. The only trouble is, now both sides know what they have. Vindies know that Yuno has an ammo facility, and Yuno knows that Vindy is getting for the airfield. So this means, up until the point where Yuno gets an airfield, that Vindies doesn't need to get an Apollo, and this will be the worst place to deploy the MCV. Two garrisons filled with Peacekeepers. And this will take a lot of time to clear all of these buildings around. MCV or the off HP. Vindicators coming very close. They can snipe the MCV. That's a possibility. Instead, they target the IFVs and beautiful run. Only one Vindicator goes down. Meanwhile, two of the IFVs have been sniped down. Yuno now imprisoning the units of the Vindies in this garrison. I think he can do the same over here, but now MCV took a lot of damage. So let's see what this Vindies is cooking. I mean, he has lots of Peacekeepers. He's not doing something significant with them. Doing some bombing runs. I mean, this expansion is under threat, and this prison didn't work. They snuck down. Like, he just said, okay, I accept the death. I stopped further moving. Now, Yuno has a lot of IFVs, but he needs more than that. Meanwhile, Vindies have only 3 Vindicators. And some Peacekeepers, by the way, and that's what he can do at best. Now, it will take some years for these Peacekeepers to be taken down by these IFVs. I mean, at least 2 of them with R. Uh-oh. Now, timely intervention. Only 1 Vindicator goes down. That's the problem with the IFVs. They overkill a lot, and you have to shift their attack moves. From time to time I see them, for example, especially on a polar mix, like they die very quickly. When IFV, for example, attacks and sends enough rockets on air, it just stops firing. And when the rockets travel and hit the target and deplete their health, they start attacking again. That happens to me time to time, but I don't think it's fair. Now, 4 Vindicators bombing Peacekeepers, but now they have been approached with IFV, and no, that's safe enough. Yuno still wants to launch an offensive. The trouble is, you got to be kidding me. Just eject the units over there and then just take down this collector once again, or even better yet, the MCV, the Vindicators. Now, tactical feint or no, I don't know, but again, trade has been done. Only 1 Vindicator in return of 2 IFVs. Almost same, but Vindies is now losing a little bit of map control, I guess. And again, all you need to do just eject these Peacekeepers and deal damage to here. What else can happen to you? Bunch of IFVs without Peacekeepers. Now it's a little bit too late. But also Yuno has realized that this could be trouble. Peacekeeper can't attack here? I think they can, but they need to be issued order. Now Vindicators have arrived. I think they are seeking a target to bomb down. IFVs have also arrived. I think... Okay, that was for dealing splash damage to the both collector and the refinery. 1 Vindicator is down. How is that happening? So many Peacekeepers are going to meet IFVs on front. They get into the garrison immediately. I don't think much can be happened here. Cryo shot has been used. This Peacekeeper traded death. These Vindicators are now completely exposed. No, 1 Vindicator down. Second, no. Beautiful reverse move. Oh, that's a massacre. 3 Vindicators are down in return of only 2 IFVs. I think that was a feint. He wanted to make Vindies shift attention to over here so that he can actually focus on the Vindicators. But I don't think that matters a lot, because after all, we have all of these. Beautiful double expansion, I mean. Ooh, that's severe. Brother, you have 4 refineries. I mean, in total, you have 6. You lost 1 collector, but does that matter? I don't think that does matter at all. This guy is now swimming in cash. This is like being the Uncle Scrooge level of cash, and we know what is Vindies capable of. If he feels secure enough, he can go for Proton Collider, he can go for Chronosphere. It doesn't really matter for him. The trouble with the Yuno is that he took the path of destruction going over here. Because when you think about it, I mean this refinery spot leads to the other one. Meanwhile, what are you going to have in here? Just this. So immediately you have to go down. Or you can take the risky path and go over here. Which, why would you do that? Now IFVs are doing some runs, but also this bridge has been targeted down, but all of the Vindies units just gone away. past the bridge, so it doesn't really matter. But anyway, that's a good move. Assault Destroyer may need to take a longer route. So now Windy's old base is under threat, but I don't think that will matter a lot. He accumulated enough cash that he would like to have. And now he can do harassment over here. I mean, destroying this bridge. He can still actually pass. No, come on. Okay, one refinery is down. It's a nice point. Oh. Okay, some hitting back hard, I see. I mean, while Sword Destroyer also attacking the Yuno. Vindicators, timely arrival. Unfortunately, they did not notice about the Vindicators, so instead they are attacking Riptide. And this Riptide, yeah, finally goes offline. Is a courtesy of, I think this is a Chronosphere. Yep, that's a Chronosphere. So let's see how it's going to unfold. Vindies. You could actually spend all of the time that this Assault Destroyer had with attacking the ore refinery. So you could have destroyed it. Dolphins are moving close. Now our man realizes that the trouble that he is facing against. Now, you see this. I mean, all of these dolphins are now targeting the dolphin. Okay. So aircraft carriers positioned over here a bit far, but all of these dolphins can actually dodge all of the attacks over here. Two collectors have been sniped already. But does that matter to our Windies? No, that doesn't really matter for our Windies. He's swimming on 8,000 cash. And on top of that, he was here. He wants what Yuno is supposed to have. Oops. Hopefully nothing. Oh, that's disgusting. That's nasty. That's very nasty. Air support? No. We have a cryo getting, yes. Also thanks to adding over excitement, Vindies also frost his own Riptide. From the Vindies aspect, this game is getting a bit slow. I mean, I think he has the means to end this game. I mean, he has the economic advantage for sure. 5 javelins. Oh, that's nice. Actually, sniping here. And there are some garrisons, which is not bad. There are only Vindicators here. Okay, Vindicators taking flight, but where are they going? I think he will bomb the bridge. No. Power plant? 2 power plants. Okay, fine. Vin is also crawling over here to take the other refinery as well. Javelins get crushed by the Prospector, and this Peacekeeper will take some million years. Okay, no, instead he traded itself with a Javelin. This... I mean, at this point, you know, you could really use an airfield. I mean, you see this is happening at this Crush It. Is Vindies holding the Chronosphere up until now? Did he cancel it?
Aircraft carrier leaving port.
Somehow that was a star rank and survived. Now realizing the trouble that Yuno had, I think, or maybe Vindies just typed the amount of cash he had, and that was enough for Yuno, realizing that the would be odds are too difficult for him to handle it. But anyway, congratulations for the both of our players, and of course, Vindies to win this for, I guess that was 2-1. Hopefully, we will see Vindies on future victories.